Recently, I think I figured out my issue with Muzan. When it comes to Muzan, the way that his character was presented, like throughout the series, that I think really worked for him, was you had all these other extremely powerful, like monstrous characters, like all the other demons and stuff, that even after seeing how strong they were and knowing just kind of how like ruthless and stuff they are, that this is somebody they're afraid of. That you had somebody like Muzan that was, absolutely strike fear in their heart, but also loyalty, I think, too, and how kind of how well they would kind of come together when it came to doing stuff for Muzan. I thought that was a really good way to kind of like construct him and present him, and then having him kind of just being seen wandering through crowds of humans and stuff like we got way earlier. He'll just kind of blend in with them. That made it for him for a really kind of intimidating way to build him up, like strength wise and just kind of as an image. But we never really got anything beyond that. There's not a lot for Muzan outside of just being like this big, powerful bad guy. And with all the other bad guys gone, to not kind of like have that intimidation factor added on top of him, that's really all it is just a big, strong like opponent they have to defeat, which is unfortunate because Kokoshibo had a lot to like really work with to make him a bigger character. Same thing with Akaza, with Doma. But somehow not really anything for Muzan. I don't know. Either way, though, with Muzan, he's very weakened at this point. That seems to be how they're really going to beat him. It's not that Tanjiro is going to just become ridiculously more powerful and just kind of like oversteps the pillars and stuff. It's that Muzan is becoming weaker by the minute. Tamayo, she is by far the MVP of this whole series after this. I mean, she is like one woman taking down everything about Muzan and like all her different toxins and stuff or poisons and remedies are just dragging him down like immensely. But like when him and when Igoro and Tanjiro are going in, like Muzan like starts to kind of like burst. It looks like this weird, like I can't tell what kind of explosion, if it's supposed to be like lightning or just like raw energy. If it was like maybe he did something with like heat, like liquids in his body for like a steam explosion or something. Either way, he had this large burst, and then he's got this like large fang-toothed maw kind of like on his chest. And I'm wondering where that kind of starts. Is it gonna kind of expand out, and he's just gonna have this large monstrous kind of gash all the time now, trying to bite people at that? Because that would make him a little bit cooler. I'd like to see him kind of like lose control and start losing like more of a human form and become more of just some like very like big nightmare fuel kind of creature, just to really kind of break him down as like his desperation and building more on the image of him, to where it's not like you're fighting some big philosophical demon leader character, something like way deeper. It's like you're fighting the concept of the demons. You're fighting them at their kind of most imagery, to where defeating him is like defeating them in total. That would really work. I think that would really kind of play well onto like the story and like an ending like this. But here it is. We have the man himself coming in to help, coming in to aid. You have Inosuke, still my favorite Kimetsu no Yaiba character. But him and Zenitsu coming in and being able to kind of fight him. It's really nice to see them playing a role in these final moments, because they haven't really done a whole lot like that you would expect in the final arc for characters that are the main cast. I know each of them got their own parts in the fights with Upper Moon 6 and Doma, but I would like to see more of them, especially like I would like to see them involved in the big final battle, assuming that Kimetsu no Yaiba ends after this fight. But they're going against Muzan and kind of like trying to throw their attacks. I'm hoping maybe they can get their Demon Slayer marks and get boosted, and they'll be able to help deliver in a victorious strike in order to take them down and set them, because there's only 25 minutes left until the sun rises. And after that point, you actually have Himejima, Giyu, and stuff. All of the pillars are getting up and putting up their last pieces of life in order to try and get this. They don't want to lay on the ground and then bleed out thinking about all the stuff they could have done or all the things they'll miss or something. Until their final moments, they want to be fighting against Muzan. They really want to just kind of unleash everything they have. This was a nice kind of like build up for the characters coming back and all kind of getting everything set up. Tanjiro needs to get himself together. He needs to get that that final sun dance breath the 13th breath and take Muzan down and really kind of just build him up for it. I'm still hoping that the final technique will be called Kimetsu no Yaiba, because I think the name, I know it's Demon Slayer in the like visuals, but I know one of the ways it can be translated to was it was like Sword of Demon Destruction or something. And if that's what the final technique of the Sun Breath is, I think that would be really neat. I think that would just be a fun way to kind of like end out the series. It would feel more like a short, like because of its length, I think more like a little tale, and then at the end it's like, oh yeah, that's why it's called that. Cool. Anyway, comment below. Tell me your thoughts about this chapter. They've been really fast reads lately. Like usually when you have like a lot of, so I think that's part of the problem. And I don't mean that it's like a huge bad thing, because a lot of the time when you have like the Kimetsu no Yaiba parts, you have a couple fighting chapters, but then you get into like the character stories, like you get into like the backstories of the villains, because I do think the Upper Moons and stuff actually have some pretty good backstories. And with that, when you get into that, then it becomes more about like, oh well, the chat will be more about like what happened here and how what happened in these events of their past, you know, relates to where they are now and stuff. It just adds a little bit extra to it, to where you're talking more about the characters and what they went through and their experiences that kind of like, you know, end up being crafted into either stuff they've done or what they will do in the future. Whereas like these ones are mostly just like lots of fighting, and without Muzan really having like a lot to his character, it becomes more of the event and rather less about the characters that are involved in it. But other than that, comment below. I really appreciate to hear what you have to say about the chapter. And yeah, thumbs up the video, prefer the like button, subscribe button, and check out my other videos. From that, appreciate everybody's already subscribed. And thank you all for listening. Bye.